Hello everyone, we are Group 5 from Class H. We'd like to present about our research today on the effects of typography customer perception towards UMN visual brandings. Our research explored the important roles that typography plays in brandings, and we are focused specifically on UMN visual brandings. Typography is one of the most important visual elements in branding. Interestingly, there hasn't been much investigation into how typography is used in women visual brandings before. Therefore, our research today aims to understand how customer and their perception, particularly women students, about typography in women visual brandings.
Typography has been shown to significantly influence how audiences perceive a brand. Studies by Fies and Hossain highlight that visual elements like font choice and design strongly affect branding. Candelo et al. Also support this by demonstrating how typography can evoke emotional responses in users, impacting how human or trustworthy a brand appears. Riven's study explains how different fonts convey gender and emotion. Serif fonts often come across as more masculine, while script fonts appear more feminine. Poor typographic choices such as inconsistent spacing or errors can harm a brand's reputation, as Foredu and Kabidu have noted. However, most of this research is generalized or focused on commercial products. Very few studies, if any, examine the role of typography in educational institutions' branding, particularly UMN. That is the gap this study aims to fill by analyzing how typography affects customer perception in the specific case of Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. This study uses a qualitative research approach to gain deeper insights into how typography influences customer perception of UMN's visual branding. The first data collection method is a questionnaire distributed via Google Forms to a sample of at least 30 UMN students counted with central limit theorem. This captures a range of perceptions across various media like UMN's bus, website, brochures, and social media. The second method is interview, conducted with two expert typography lecturers, and one of them is specifically specialized in font design, and the interviews lasted around 15 to 30 minutes each and explored specific aspects like legibility, layout, and emotional tone of typography. Both of the methods were designed to balance broad perception from the student body and deep expert analysis. Ethical considerations such as informed consent and privacy were strictly followed. Overall, this approach allows for a comprehensive understanding of how women's typographic choices impact its visual brand identity.
These sections present perceptions of UMN's typography across media. The bus and Instagram were viewed as the most visually distinctive. 66.7% identified the bus typography as unique, followed by 43.3% for Instagram. In contrast, the website and printed media were less recognized. Font and color were key contributing factor. Additionally, 76.7% found the typography visually appealing, and 70% noted consistency across platform. Key informants supported this by linking consistency to stronger brand credibility. Functionality also rated highly. 80% agreed the typography was readable, and 96.7% supported the layout and spacing. However, key informant observed minor inconsistency on the website, which may reduce user comfort. Typography's role in brand identity was affirmed by 93.3% of respondents. While it was perceived as modern and inclusive, one key informant argued that the rounded forms lacked of the assertiveness associated with forward-thinking identity. This finding aligned with Yang 2020 and Gunai 2024, who emphasized the importance of readability, layout, and consistency in effective typographic design. While typography is not the sole influence on brand perception, minor inconsistency may subtly affect user comfort and professional impression. In conclusion, UMN's typography is clear, consistent, and modern, supporting both brand identity and user readability with only minor areas for refinement.
To conclude our findings, generally, women's use of typography is positively received by the respondents. First, women's use of typography is considered distinct from other universities. Then, women's use of typography is also positively received based on its aesthetic appeal. The respondents agree that women's use of typography in its visual branding has good readability and a well-executed layout, and typography is considered to be an active factor in shaping brand perception. Respondents generally consider women's use of typography as modern and forward-thinking. Experts underline that the consistency in typography can leave a positive effect. In contrast, inconsistencies in type can leave a negative effect. The main limitation of the study is the sample size for data collection, being limited to active students in women. Additionally, further studies could be done with similar topics, whether it's for different target segments, customer perception, or regarding other brands' use of typography. Here are the references used for the purposes of the current study. And thus concludes the presentation for our study. We apologize if we have made any grammatical mistakes throughout the presentation, and we thank you for your time.